You're listening to a new episode of the Reading Room Ruffians, your favorite library podcast. This is Mallory, merry-ish, and bright. The angel on my tree, Ariel, is here with me, ready to bring good tidings. Maybe.
Have no fear.
Our Supreme Overlord Carla has bundled up for the jolly ride. Today's episode will be...
Fear is everywhere because of these two.
We're angels. Excuse you.
But what kind of angel?
Well,
it remains to be seen. We are recording from our library in Jackson County, West Virginia. Zach the elf is working away at the North Pole in Seattle, Washington to make sure our coal is ready.
Actually, no, I have something better than last time. If I'm making coal, but I'm from West Virginia too, I don't know what that means about me, you know? I think I'm just going back home, essentially going to the North Pole that way.
Well, you know what? I didn't even think about that.
I'm good with that.
That's fantastic. Look at me go. So today we're going to talk about different Christmas traditions from all over the world. And I guess also different time periods. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. This is our Christmas episode, in case you couldn't tell. And I think Carla is going to get us started.
Okay. The origins of Christmas are both complex and intertwined with various cultural and religious traditions, including some pagan elements. While Christmas is primarily celebrated as a Christian holiday commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, it coincides with the winter solstice and incorporates elements from pre-Christian traditions. Now, before we get started on this too much, I want to explain what pagan means. It just means non-Christian. So any religious beliefs or whatever that's not Christian is considered pagan. So I'm not going down a dark path here. It's just a not Christian thing.
Speak for yourself.
I was going to say.
Like I said, what kind of angels?
The fun kind.
Anyway, it coincides with the winter solstice, which was celebrated all around the world because it's actually a scientific fact that December 22nd is the shortest day of the year. And I'm sure in an agricultural society, watching the sun get less and less every day, you were very excited when that stopped and the sun started to come back. And that was what the celebrations were based on. There's usually a lot of fires and feasting and stuff like that. So the reason that Christmas is associated with the winter solstice is because early in the religion, the Christians wanted to celebrate their beliefs also, but they were persecuted, especially in Rome. So they could slip it in during the Saturnalia, which is like the winter solstice celebration of Rome, and they could celebrate and not get caught. Mm-hmm. And the Saturnalia was a big deal for the Romans. It was the one day, or it wasn't a week. Sometimes it was a week, but it was the one time that slaves could be free, and they celebrated along with everybody else. They weren't just considered slaves. They were part of the society at that point. The gifts were exchanged. There was lots of drinking. It was just a fun time. So it was easy for the Christians to slip in their celebration along with that.
Sneaky little devils.
Yeah, they were. So anyway, when I was in college, we had a Saturnalia festival. It was like a one-day thing where we went and we tried rolling the knuckle bones, and because they gambled and stuff like that. And somebody actually, I guess one of the instructors, actually had sheep knuckles, and we played games and we gambled like that, which was like it was trying to count the points. Was like,
where's a knuckle on a sheep?
It's like right above the hoof. Right there at the
like the ankle? Yeah, because their hooves are like their toes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait a minute.
Anyway, that's what they were. And then they had this cake recipe that was like 2,000 years old.
Yeah.
And they had all kinds of other food and stuff too. No alcohol, but I know. But anyway, the cake, they should have left that recipe buried. It was horrible. It was like I ate so many grapes after that just to get that flavor out of my mouth. It's like, it was bad, but it was kind of fun. The whole thing was kind of fun. But the Saturnalia was a really big deal. And they celebrated the Roman god Saturn, thus the Saturnalia. And he was the god of agriculture. So you can see how this is tying into the length of days and how plants grow and stuff. But also, it was kind of worked in with Dionysus too, which is the god of wine.
Woo!
So there was
Fun time.
Our
My favorite of the gods.
drunken festivals, and I tell you, sometimes they got violent. Dionysus was not necessarily the
Nah, but he knew what he was
feel-good person.
doing.
He wasn't
Had a
very good
party.
in the Percy Jackson series either. He was
He's
He's
there's a
kind of
violent
a
side to
butthead.
some of his followers.
He's really good
He
in that
also
Hades
wasn't allowed
game,
to
though.
drink.
drunks
Yeah.
out
he
there.
also wasn't allowed to drink in that series, so I imagine that's why he was like the most bad. So
I'd be,
Yeah.
Well, the
I'd be
women
real
were the
mad.
worst. They would the Bacchanaids, they would chase men down and literally rip them apart.
Mhm.
It could be pretty violent.
As you
I don't think
do.
that happened during the Saturnalia, but it was part of his
as you do.
his festival. Oh my God.
Well,
And
you
it's
know.
also kind of coincidental that the Iranian sun god Mithra, his birthday was December 25th. So there was all these things going together, so that we chose, or the Christians chose, the 25th of December as Jesus' birthday, because it all slipped right in there together.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the decorations we do and stuff like that are based on Norse traditions, like the Yule log and celebrating with the 12 days, the holly and the pine and stuff like that, bringing trees in was a
Yeah.
German thing. So Christmas is not just one specific religious holiday. It is a whole combination of different traditions
Yeah.
and holidays. And so I think that's the reason.
Almost like all religion is basically the same.
Yeah.
We just play sharesies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some
Copy
of the,
and paste
yeah.
and edit a little.
I mean,
a little, just a little.
just a baby bit.
but the being with family and the feasting and drinking and celebrating and looking forward to a new year is in a lot of the celebration.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find there's my Dionysus one. I mean, the Slavic people had their own winter solstice. They had the Slavic gods. It was during the same time of year, during this December 22nd.
You know, that's funny. That's Alex's birthday.
Yeah.
Him's my winter baby.
It says some of the first Christian or church celebrations were at the same time of the winter solstice, so that it would bring in the mass of people, because they didn't want to give up this
Yeah.
celebration, so they kind of incorporated it into the mass. And the first ones, I think the first celebrations of Christmas in the church started in the 4th century CE. And the believers attended church. They exchanged Christmas gifts. They celebrated in a rather drunken carnival-like atmosphere, because that's what they were used to. But it helped convert the pagans to Christianity,
Yep.
because they were still allowed to do that, because they knew that they couldn't do it if they didn't allow them to celebrate the way they were
Mm-hmm.
accustomed to. And it was only in the 17th century that, with the wave of the Puritan religions, this kind of Christmas celebration was changed. And in England, in 1645, Oliver Cromwell actually canceled Christmas.
How dare.
I know. It's like, what? But it was like it was so,
The Grinch.
I know, that was the original Grinch.
Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
But it has evolved, and then Coca-Cola, like, of course, has.
And they're polar bears.
Well, and I was thinking about the original Christmas,
Oh.
the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
It's like that's what
Oh,
they
yeah.
saw
Yeah,
him
yeah,
look like. But there really was a Saint Nick that helped people. So it's just a conglomeration of a lot of different things, and some of them the best of things
Mm-hmm.
out of the different cultures. So that's my Christmas tradition thing. I may have other ones, like, as you guys talk, but that's the
Yeah.
summary.
Very good.
I didn't summarize crap.
Doesn't surprise me.
I was going to say, y'all were all like just underlining.
Yeah.
And I printed papers.
I have more underlined, but I didn't do it
I can start
because I
with
could have went on for a long time.
like a couple of I literally have like probably 10 different countries. So
That's okay.
I can go over a couple and then maybe come back.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. So the first one I'm going with is Japan. And I chose like Asian cultures. And I kind of liked this one because Zach was in Japan for Christmas one year.
Mhm.
that's
So,
cool. Yeah.
like, he kind of saw. But, so they don't really celebrate Christmas like we do, per se. Only about 1% of the Japanese population is Christian. So they don't really have that same,
Do they
like,
do the winter
tie to
solstice?
No, not really. As far as I'm
No,
aware.
but they do no, well, listen. They celebrate, let me find it. Where was it at? December 23rd, the emperor's birthday, which is a public holiday. It was Emperor Akihito. I don't know. He was the 125th emperor, but it's the 23rd of December. But some popular things that they actually do is on Christmas Eve, it's seen as like a romantic kind of holiday where couples get together. I mean, they do friends and family too, but it's more for couples where they get together and they like exchange gifts and, you know, are just all cute and mushy gushy and crap.
Gross.
Mallory's favorite.
Grinch.
That will be Cromwell, remember?
But it is more of a time to celebrate friends and couples and less, you know, family oriented. Their popular traditions include eating fried chicken. And it's said that is to have originated from a KFC marketing campaign in the 1970s.
I love that.
It says KFC and fried chicken in general are quite popular through the holidays. And to meet a high demand, meals have to be booked in advance for it.
No, like it's a big
That's
deal
crazy.
with the KFC there. It's kind of wild.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I think out of all the like fried chicken you can get though,
It's like, why
KFC's
that
not
one?
that great.
No, it's not.
I don't know.
Maybe
I
it's
think it's
different
probably
there.
better there. I don't know. I didn't have it when I was
It
there.
might be.
Oh, for sure. I think it definitely is.
And the other thing they do is they have a strawberry shortcake as like their dessert. It's I cannot even begin to pronounce what it's called. But it's got strawberries and sugar Santas and like other little Christmas ornaments that go all over the cake, and it's all pretty and cute.
Do you have a picture of it?
I do not, but we
Oh.
can look on up later because
Yeah.
it's like Kirisumasu Kiki, maybe? That's probably way off, but I tried. I didn't
It
even
sounds fun.
I
and
didn't
I would
even
eat it.
stumble after that one.
Yeah.
So I mean that's pretty
Yeah.
good. Let's see. Let me see if there's anything else I really need to talk about for Japan. Oh, they do have a bunch of like different Christmas markets and displays and decorations and stuff like that. They go hard on that aspect apparently.
So they like the decorations, not so much the like.
Religious aspect,
Yeah.
I would guess, of it. Yeah.
I get that.
So I don't know. It's kind of cool though, but
Yeah.
like it sounds fun, and
I'm
I would do it.
I'm surprised I didn't have some kind of solstice thing going on.
Well, they do have a Japanese folklore god that
Mhm.
they kind of celebrate. Their names are Hotai, maybe, but they are slightly chubby old men carrying bags of presents.
I love that.
So
I mean,
they
so
kind of fit
you
the
have
Santa
this
Claus
thing, yeah,
thing.
this whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And then another one that I went with was China because that's, right close there. Apparently apples are a popular gift in China and they are often wrapped and stamped with a message.
Huh.
You know,
And-
apples figured a lot in the Norse and the European stuff with the wassail.
Yeah.
Of course, they had to turn it into a drink.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah.
Well, got to what you got to do.
Yep.
But I think they use it because the word for apple is I'm not even going to try to say it, but it's very similar to the word for Christmas Eve, which means peaceful.
Oh,
So a tradition is eating a peace apple on Christmas Eve.
I love that.
Which you give to your friends and stuff. So that's kind
See, I don't get that. I would eat the whole apple, not just a piece of the apple.
of. I would take a bite.
Oh, wait, it was peace and
No, he's being dumb.
okay. I was like, I thought it was peace, like the peace sign.
yeah,
It definitely is. I'm just
covered
being
in
a troll.
chocolate and nuts.
But it says, just like in Japan, Christmas in China is very similar to like Valentine's Day. But it's also a special day to meet with friends. And they usually go to malls and go shopping and ice skating, watch a movie, or sing in a karaoke bar, like with their friends and stuff,
Yeah.
which is super fun. They also go hard with decorations. They light decorations, paper lanterns, massive Christmas trees. They have some live entertainment at different malls. They have, apparently there's some malls that showcase, I'm not going to try to pronounce that either, but it's Santa Claus. It's their name for Santa Claus playing a saxophone, which is apparently a very unique tradition.
I love this.
To China.
I love this.
It's kind of wild.
But China produces most of the world's Christmas decorations, so like it makes sense that they would have so many decorations there.
Yeah.
But they don't have any religious aspects to Christmas in China. They have big family feasts, which include roast pork, Chinese dumplings, Chinese spring rolls, and rice.
Pork is another thing that's like seems to be pretty universal for that time. Well, not all of them. I'm sure there's some religions that don't eat it, but it's like it is predominant in a lot of them.
It does say that most of the time, Christmas is mostly just celebrated in like bigger cities where there's a lot of population and everything like that, because the like smaller cities and the countryside areas, there's a lot fewer Christians and they don't have as much contact with the Western world. So they see Christmas as a foreign mystery.
A foreign mystery.
Foreign mystery. Yes.
Fantastic.
So they don't usually leave cookies and milk out for Santa or write a letter or anything like that. They just,
poor Santa.
Give apples and spend time with friends and some family stuff. So, do you want me to keep going with another one, or do we want to switch?
Well, I've only got one
Indonesia
thing,
next.
so
Do one more.
Okay, so next is Indonesia, and there they call Christmas Natal, I believe is how it's pronounced. And there are 28 million Christians, so that's like Christmas is a big deal in Indonesia. They have plastic Christmas trees and Sinterklaas, which is Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
And most, they put on Christmas shows and Christmas concerts and big Christmas celebrations. And it's all organized by the government, which I thought was kind of weird.
Huh.
But they make cookies. And they make a pineapple tart.
Ooh.
Every Christmas celebration, like that's their thing that they do there. And then, let's see. I don't know how to pronounce these words, but there's a big Christian community over there somewhere where they have mass dances and bamboo music. And they have big cooking rituals. Which is, the pork aspect again.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense. But it's just a very happy time in Indonesia. And, like, everybody's happy and optimistic and things are good. So kind of very similar, I would think, to here, because people, well, not so much this year. I feel like there's a lot of people really grumpy this year. But that's because we can't afford anything. Yeah. Anyways, but, in general, it fits the whole, like America's all happy and joyous and peace on earth and blah, 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 blah. Yep. But apparently in Bali, the local inhabitants don't celebrate Christmas. They follow a different tradition that I can't pronounce. It's nope.
You can look these up beforehand, right? It's possible.
I'm busy in the morning, sir. So don't even.
Just saying.
Anyways, but the practice brings together the whole community where they share cakes and fruits and other types of food with relatives and neighbors. And it's, for maintaining peace and harmony between religions. So I thought that was kind of cool that they have something similar, but it's like, because there's so many different religions and whatnot, because there's a lot of people in Indonesia. And apparently, like, Muslim and Christianity is, like, the two big ones. So to have peace between those is, like, that's a big deal. But yeah, so that's about it. They have, bamboo cannons that shoot fireworks.
Well, that's fun.
That is fun.
We could use more of those.
I want one.
Just a little tidbit there, but yeah.
I also want to circle back to that pineapple tart. I want to learn how to make those. I want one.
Nastar, Nastar.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this part. It says youngsters usually stay up the whole night on December 24th playing with fireworks.
No thanks. Anxiety says no.
No way.
Indonesia.
That's why people in Indonesia have so few fingers on average. It's because of that.
Anton would be like that kid in that video. Someone
Someone
gave me fire!
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Oh my gosh. Zach, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I was going to say, we can come back to the rest of mine.
Sure, I can go. So mine is expressly technically not a Christmas tradition. Excuse me, ma'am. Don't decide to join us. Anyway, she's been attacking my chair all morning, so the viewers know this because they've been seeing her try to hop up in the frame a bunch. Anyway, so mine is Kwanzaa. I'm going to talk about Kwanzaa a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So I didn't know hardly anything about Kwanzaa before reading this stuff, so this is all new to me. The only thing I knew is it was around Christmas time, but it was not Christmas. Okay, so basically, it was created back in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karenga, who is a professor and an activist during the height of the civil rights movement. And it's inspired by a traditional African harvest. Kwanzaa actually means, I believe it's like first fruits. Yeah, but it's also very much like children-oriented. It celebrates the children, celebrates harvest, which I don't know why I didn't think of this beforehand, but like, you know, it's Africa, right? It's based on that sort of stuff. It's all the language in it comes from Swahili. But yeah, so a lot of Africa's in the southern hemisphere. So they're harvesting around that time. It makes some sense.
Mm-hmm.
First fruits. Anyway, so this was basically, Dr. Karenga basically envisioned Kwanzaa as a way for African Americans to connect with their heritage and cultural identity while celebrating like family, community, and values central to African cultures. Also, he did this a lot, mostly because he considered Christmas to be very much a white holiday. So he wanted something for his fellow black people to have that is separate from that, but was around the same time so they could still celebrate things. And it's actually, it's longer. It lasts from December 26th to January 1st. So it's 7 days, I believe that is, or 6 days. 7 days. Yeah. No, 6 days. I was right the first time. Depends on whether you're inclusive or exclusive of those days. I think it's 7, technically. Yeah, I'm going to go with 7.
Yeah.
Anyway, so actually speaking of 7, there are 7 symbols and traditions, or whatever, if you want to call them that. And then there's the 7 principles. The 7 principles seems to be like the main thing that it's based around. Each principle has a separate day. And the 7 principles, also called Ngoza Saba, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Those are basically the main thing that is that Kwanzaa is about. And they are, let me grab my little site here with my pronunciation guide because I can never remember these. See, I have pronunciation guides because I'm trying to be like thoughtful. It sort of works. Okay. So the first one is Umoja, which is means unity. And again, all of these words are in Swahili, which I am, of course, an expert in.
Of course.
Right.
Which is basically, it fosters the harmony between families and communities. You know, unity, coming together. And that's the first day. The second day is, this is the only hard one. Kujika Gulia. Kujika Gulia. That's it. Haha. Too many syllables. Anyway, that is self-determination, and it's encouraging individuals to define and speak for themselves. Then we have Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility, which is promoting shared accountability for community well-being. This is very community-oriented sort of celebrations. All the ones actually that I was seeing online of like the actual celebrations, they say that there's a bunch of these like smaller, like just family gathering type things, but all the stuff you see online are these huge parties. It looks like tons of fun. There's dancing and singing and all this stuff that happens basically the whole week, which is pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got Ujama, which is cooperative economics. It's supporting economic self-reliance within the community. You have Nia, which is purpose, and it's again committing to the collective progress in this case. Kuumba, which is creativity. So that's striving for innovation to improve the community. And Imani, which is faith, which is believing in ourselves and our shared future. Faith in this case is not religious faith. It is faith in the community, basically. Or, this is supposed to be something that's very a-religious so that you can celebrate in addition to other things. Or at least that's the way it's viewed now. I don't know that that's Dr. Malana Karenga's view of it, but it's based on a lot of these traditions all from Africa, but it also is celebrated by tons of people in addition to Christmas. It's on December 25th, as I think most of our listeners know. So this is right after that. And there's a bunch of other people who celebrate other religions because this is sort of an a-religious holiday, which is fun. All right, now let's go into these symbols and traditions.
So the guy just made it up.
He just made it up. Yeah, he just made it up. And it stuck. So it's been going on since 1966.
It's like that
Wolfie Newt.
Yeah, Wolf and Newt one.
What'd you
so
say?
Cute.
I said it's similar to Wolf and Newt.
That little kid said that he wanted there to be a holiday for dogs.
Yeah.
And so he named it Wolf and Newt, and it's like a
People
real thing now.
celebrate it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
I think it's like in November or something.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
Okay, we need to get a cat one in.
Yeah.
That's
Get on
just
that,
the one.
That's
the
every
Yule
day.
Cat thing.
I was
We'll
gonna
just make
say
that its own
Yule
holiday.
Cat. Yeah.
And he can come eat people who don't have clothes. Speaking of people, if you want to go back to our Yule Lads episode, it was
Yes.
way back in the day. Very good.
Actually,
We
a
love
year
the Yule
ago
Lads.
ish.
Yeah.
Was it only a year ago? I thought it was maybe 2 years ago.
I think it's just
no,
a year.
Just a year.
Okay, well, the Yule Lads. It's great. We got Spoon Liquor and Door Slammer and all them. Probably the best
Yule
celebration
Spoon
of
Liquor
Christmas
is my least
ever.
favorite.
Gives me that. You lit liquor.
Thanks. Well, I guess it's is it technically Christmas? Yeah, it is Christmas, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, you have the 7 symbols which are displayed during the Kwanzaa ceremony to represent the 7 principles of African culture and community. So again, 7 in numerology, very big number, comes up in all kinds of different cultures and religions.
That's a good number.
7's a good number. I don't know. It feels like people have just some propensity to the number 7. I don't get it, but it's a thing. Okay, the first one is mkeka, which is a mat usually made out of straw, but it can also be fabric or paper, upon which all of the other Kwanzaa symbols are placed. So it's a symbol by itself, but it's where all the other symbols are placed. And it represents the foundation of African traditions and history. What?
Did you say mat or match?
Mat, M-A-T.
Okay, cool.
And then we have mazao, which is the crops, fruit, vegetables representing traditional African celebrations and it shows respect for the people who labored to grow them. You have the kinara, which is the candle holder, which represents the original stock from which all African ancestors came. It holds the 7 candles, which I believe those all relate to the 7 principles. You have mishuma, which is in the 7 candles. Each candle represents one of the seven principles. The candles are red, green, and black, symbolic of the African people and their struggles. You have muhindi, which is the corn, and it represents African children and the promise of their future. One ear of corn is set out for each child in the family. And if in a family without children,
Anton
one year
would
is
love
set out
that.
symbolically to represent the children of the community. That's kind of nice. I like that.
So would my nephew Wilson.
I was going to say, Anton would love it. He loves corn.
Yeah.
The next one is Kikombe Cha Umija. And that one is the Unity Cup. And it symbolizes the first principle of Kwanzaa, the unity of family and the African people. The cup is used to pour the libation, water, juice, wine, whatever it happens to be, for family and friends. And the last one is Sawadi, spelled with a Z, so you know it's better. And these are gifts which represent the labors of the parents and rewards of their children. And they're given to educate and enrich the children. They may include a book, a piece of art, educational toy. At least one of the gifts is something symbolic of African heritage. Okay, so just briefly on the candles, right? So you have in the center, that's the black candle. That's the one that represents the first principle, which is, again, unity, which is umoja. To the left of the black candle, there are 3 red candles representing the principles of self-determination, cooperative economics, and creativity. And then to the right of the black candle are 3 green candles, which represent the principles of collective work and responsibility, purpose, and faith. So you have all of those. There's a little picture on this thing. I'm going to try. Let me see if I can just send it over to you guys real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. Save. Or just here. You can look at this website.
I wonder.
I'll put a bunch of the
websites
websites in
the
there.
Colors red and green.
You wonder why he chose what?
The colors red and green.
Isn't that...
I mean, it's very Christmassy colors, and I thought he was,
I don't know. I think, isn't it like a lot of the African countries' flags have red, green, and
Yeah,
black
I
on
think-
them?
I think so.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
I thought it was
Maybe.
yellow, green, and black.
I was thinking there was yellow involved. Is the reason I was.
No, the Pan-African
too.
flag is red, green, and black.
Oh, okay.
And a bunch of the different flags in Africa have something similar to
Maybe
that. But
that
it's
time of year.
specifically they chose the red, green, and black for the Pan-African flag, which is the one that represents basically
All of them.
Africa itself. I don't think that he came up with that. I think that's something that was around beforehand. But let me actually check that. Yeah, I know. That was red, green, red. So this is first introduced by Marcus Garvey in 1920. So it's been
It
that
just
way
seems
for
funny
a
that-
while.
Yeah.
It's like the symbolism is very similar throughout.
Yeah.
And listening to you talk about some of it, like the harvest season being different, I thought, well,
Yeah.
I know why the solstice was not celebrated in some areas because they really don't have much of a solstice. Like
Yeah.
around the equator, you
Yeah.
don't get much. It's the extremes that you get that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you wouldn't get it
I
much
just hadn't
on
thought
the
about it.
equator. Honestly, though, I
Mhm.
didn't see anything. So I was looking also for Australia. That was going to be my first
Uh-huh.
pick. There's like nothing. But also, it's
Ah,
summer.
seriously?
I mean, it's the
I have
longest day of the
Australia.
year there, as opposed to the shortest
I
day
have
of the year.
Australia.
So I don't
Hmm.
think there's nearly as many summer solstice sorts of celebrations just in general, like northern or
I
southern
have-
hemisphere.
I have Australia. I have Australia and New Zealand.
Well, I mean, do
Oh,
they
do you?
have really anything unique to their cultures? I was looking more for like the Aboriginal type takes, not like just a bunch of
no,
Aussies.
it says it's mostly just normal Santa Claus.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
stuff.
I was looking for something unique to them, as opposed to
No,
a kangaroo
they
with
have
a Santa
colorful
Claus hat in it.
pageants.
I assume that's in there.
They have pageants.
Pageants. It's a little weird, but
Yeah, they gave Santa Claus how they have Santa dressed. They have him wearing a Kubra hat, casual clothes, and thongs, and they drive around in a ute driven by kangaroos.
Okay, so just for our listeners who might not know, thongs are flip flops,
They're
Our
and a
flip-flops.
ute is a
Yeah.
truck.
Yep.
They only make 2 cars in Australia, and one of them is a ute. It's the only reason I know it.
You've been there too. Yeah.
I have been to Australia. They didn't call them utes when I was there. I'm just saying, and it was not during Christmas. So,
No.
but I did see some kangaroos and koalas. They smell bad. Well, they smell like Vicks Vapor Rub.
I think that smells good.
I love
It's just
Vicks.
very intense when you're not expecting it.
Oh,
you know?
I'm ready. I'd be like,
I'm ready. Bring it to me.
come here, little
They are
koala."
they're very cute though, and it just kind of held on to me. It was apparently
They're apparently like
Fun.
always high.
Yeah.
they're always hot.
High.
High.
High. Oh yeah, I know that makes sense. Also, they're the sleepiest of all the animals. Apparently,
That's because they're always
Maybe-
high.
Also, maybe like a sloth. Like, it's maybe like something they have competition with, but
no. Apparently, they're the sleepiest. I heard about this the other day, and it's mostly
That's wild.
because they're so koalas are kind of dumb. They eat eucalyptus, which has basically no nutritional value, so they have to sleep a lot so that they don't burn too many calories. But also, if you just give them eucalyptus leaves, they don't understand what it is. They don't get that it's food unless there's also a stick. I'm not joking.
I love that.
They once the leaf is off the stick, they don't understand anymore.
That's wild.
I'm like,
They're like babies.
So do they eat the leaves first? I've never actually seen a koala.
no, they don't eat the stick.
before.
They just eat the leaves. But
They only eat the
stick
leaves.
has to be there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they don't
Yeah.
understand
So
that the
they
leaves are
recognize it.
food.
Huh.
There's actually so there's this little it's on like shorts and reels and all that good stuff. Anyway, it's just like these people who they make little animations of animals based on like some sort of animal fact, right? And they're always funny. But one of them was about a koala who was at a restaurant and he had a bowl of leaves and he's like asking his waiter, it's like, oh, when is my food coming out? And like the waiter's like, it's right there. And then he's like, no, I think I would know if there was food right in front of me. And the waiter's like, oh, hold on a second. It looks like they're bringing it out right now. And then he just puts a stick in the bowl. He's like, oh, it looks great. Yeah, it's stupid. Anyway, the only really other thing I have, like activities-wise for Kwanzaa, they have lots of African drumming, storytelling, dancing, poetry readings. Poetry readings apparently is a huge thing. I didn't realize that, but apparently it is. And there's a lot of focus on just music and ancestral rhythms and stuff like that. It's all about trying to connect to their African history as much as possible. And it used to be super niche. Obviously, this guy just made it up during the civil rights movement, but it's huge now. And there's like millions of people worldwide who actually celebrate it. And because it's a cultural, not religious holiday, it's accessible to all kinds of people, like I was saying beforehand. And I've seen lots of people of all different, walks of life celebrating. It looks really fun. If anybody celebrates Kwanzaa and is a listener, I'd love to come to your Kwanzaa celebration. It looks fun. Looks dope. Plus, you guys got all kinds of good food. I was looking at some of the food and some of the recipes, and it looks fire.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I want some of that
Yeah.
in my life.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I think that's all I've got for Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa sounds fun.
That sounds fun.
Do you want to go again, or do you want me
I
to go
can hit
first?
a couple more.
I was going to say, yeah.
Okay, so next I have India, and we're not really going to cover that because they basically do what we do. Right, so they're boring, but apparently they're very Catholic, which I didn't know that. But so Catholic Christmas. Okay, then we have Thailand. Now,
do I have memories of
let
those?
me tell you, I
Catholic?
want to go to Thailand for Christmas. It says over 90% of the Thai population is Buddhist, all right? But they celebrate Christmas because, let me read this. The concept of sanuk and enjoyment is very fundamental in the Thai culture. Thai people like to party, so any excuse for a celebration is a fundamental part of Thai culture. I love that.
Yep.
I want to go.
Wow.
It says that they will start celebrating on the king's birthday, which is the 5th of December. And it's the biggest holiday, but they will celebrate all the way to the end of the year.
I love that.
And
That's
I'm like,
fantastic.
yes.
26
20 days.
days.
That is fantastic. I would love that. Anyways.
Wow.
So let's see. They celebrate Christmas in a non-traditional sense. They have statues of elephants and real live elephants get dressed up for Christmas. Then they distribute gifts to school children. I would die to have an elephant give me a gift.
Oh,
Just throwing that out there. But it's a popular destination among tourists too during Christmas time, which I mean, obviously. But they have special menus and buffets and restaurants. Staff keeps the Christmas party spirit going by wearing red hats when they, are working. And I don't know. It sounds like super, super fun. They have a bunch of curries and rice and delicious stuff.
ooh.
And then at the very bottom of this, I'm pretty sure this hotel had something to do with this article because it says, one of the best places to spend Christmas is at the Grand Hyatt Hotel in Bangkok.
100% they did. Did they write that article?
Love that.
I don't know. They may have write that part of it, but I thought that was
That's
really
kind of funny.
Amazing.
The Grand Hyatt.
Yep.
Podcast road trip.
There you go. I'd like to say that we're not sponsored by the Grand Hyatt on this podcast, but if they want to, We'll take your money.
We will come.
Buy these nerds some better internet.
For real.
Yeah. Okay, so next I'm going on to Vietnam, which is also a Buddhist country, but they call Christmas something else.
No, say it.
Giang Sin.
Oh,
I think that's how you pronounce it.
That's not nearly as fun as I thought it was going to be.
Sin. No. But Vietnam was apparently formerly a French colony, which I didn't know because I don't do history or geography or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because gross. Anyways, but parts of the country still preserve relics of its colonial past, and they come to life around the holidays. So they do the French Yule log, and that looks French, Mallory. How do you say that?
Just ignore half the letters and kind of say it snooty in French.
I'm pretty sure it's, wait, where did it go? No, really, where did it go? There it is. I looked everywhere, but right there. I think it's Boucher de Noël.
Yeah, no way would have got that. Anyways, Noel I would have got.
Yeah.
Know that one. But Christmas is a huge celebration in Vietnam. They decorate their homes and the streets with Christmas trees and decorations and exchange gifts and attend religious ceremonies. So it's like very much like Christmas here, I guess, but more French.
They have baguettes and things, I'm sure. And little hats.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
No, that sounds delicious, honestly. I'd be okay with it. But,
Actually, do they make baguettes in Vietnam? That's the real question.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But they have their Christmas Eve mass outside in city squares.
Oh.
Which I don't know
Kind
what
of
the
fun.
weather's like in Vietnam.
It's warm. Thailand's pretty
Okay,
tropical.
Then. That wouldn't be too bad then. But they, sing Christmas carols and make Christmas foods. Now, they're Christmas foods. It says Christmas foods like chicken soup and sometimes turkey and pudding. What?
It can't
That's
be
a little
like,
bit
it's
sad.
got to be like the British term for pudding.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I understand that pudding is like a dessert, but like chicken soup?
I like chicken
That's
soup.
kinda
I don't
sad.
know why it would be
I
Christmassy.
do, but I know. That's what I was like. I don't understand that one.
Like-
They'd have to have dumplings.
Chicken
Mhm.
soup
Maybe,
is
yeah.
it's solid. Maybe they're talking like something similar to like a wonton soup. Yeah.
Ooh, that would be yummy.
I don't know. Like I doubt it's what we're thinking. It's not like friggin' Campbell's. Probably.
It didn't mention
That's the
noodles
title
at
of this
all.
episode.
That's probably
All right, I'm gonna hit 2 more countries, and then Mallory can do hers. Because I still have more after that if we have time. But then is Taiwan, and only 5% of the Taiwanese population is Christian, so they are commercially festive. But they do have a place called Christmas Land in New Taipei City, which sounds fantastic.
I kinda wanna
It
go.
says they go full force, complete with festive lights, Christmas-themed activities, and art installations.
What?
Yeah, so
That sounds fun.
really cool. But they don't do a whole much, religiously. So it's just like, decorations, yummy food, spending time with family. They do have some Aboriginal villages that, have special buffets and menus, and then they have seasonal produce and stuff like that for your Christmas meal. So, native food, which I'm always down to try.
Yep.
Now, Philippines, let me tell you.
the peens.
They got the Christmas spirit, right? They start counting down to Christmas September 1st. That's
Okay.
fantastic.
Too
No,
early.
no,
Way too
legitimately.
early.
No,
Fantastic.
hold
No,
up a second.
no.
I was in the Philippines recently, as we all know. When did I go? It was like October? Anyway, it was recently. It was all Christmas everywhere.
See?
Because
That's
they don't have
fantastic
any.
to me.
There are apparently like no holidays past
They go hard.
like September 1st or whatever. Nothing. So it's just Christmas the whole time. They had a countdown thing outside of like a bunch of the stores, and it was like 68 days left or something like that. And I'm like, what in the world is going on?
I love that.
Insane.
I love it.
Insane.
Yeah, they go
All right.
hard. Sorry, continue.
Apparently, Filipino Catholics wake up before dawn every day from December 16th to Christmas Eve
No.
for a 9-day series of masses that begin as early as 4 a.m. Yeah. But then
out.
on the 24th, it is followed by a midnight feast. So you're up at like what, 4 a.m. for mass? And then you got to stay up until midnight.
And then you got to do it again.
For feast.
Could you not just take a nap?
I mean, I would, but I don't know how long their mass lasts. Like some people have all day masses.
Mhm.
So
Oh, my
I don't know. It doesn't tell me how long they last. But anyways, their feast, the family and friends and neighbors come to tell everyone Merry Christmas. Queso de bola, cheese balls.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want some.
Chocolates, noodle and pasta, fruit salad, pandesal. I don't know what that is. I don't know. And Christmas ham are the typical Yuletide fare served at the feast. It says most tables will be groaning under the weight of the delicious dishes.
I have no doubt. They like food there, and they make a bunch of it, and it's all not healthy, feels like.
I love that.
But
and
it's
I want to
real
go to
good.
the Philippines. We should go to the Philippines for Christmas once. But their Christmas celebrations continue until the first Sunday in January.
That's wild.
where they celebrate Epiphany, which is also known the Feast of the Three Kings.
Mhm.
So I love the Philippines. And
So they do this from September to January.
September 1st to the first Sunday in January.
Yeah, it's
My
wild.
grandmother used to, she had this thing about old Christmas. And I'm like, what in the world is old Christmas? But it is January 6th, which
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
12 days after Christmas. It had the 12 days of Christmas, and
Yeah.
it took me forever to figure that one out. But she had some weird superstitions about it. But
Yeah. That's funny. All right. So I picked the Druids and Celtic Christmas traditions. I think a lot of people are probably fairly familiar with them, but there were some things that I didn't realize whenever I was doing all of this. So maybe we'll learn something today. Druid celebrations have more in common with most of Christmas.
it's Christmas time.
Than a lot of people probably think. We've talked about a lot how Christians kind of blended in with pagan holidays and pagan traditions to kind of assimilate not only themselves but also to bring people to them. Some Christmas folklore goes back to the Neolithic age and then to the age of Druids. And then they didn't technically celebrate Christmas. It was all winter solstice. So everything with this, we're talking about winter solstice. I can't talk. So just keep that knowledge in mind. The Druids were revered as priests, teachers, and judges, and they played pivotal roles in Celtic societies of ancient Britain, Ireland, Scotland, and parts of Western Europe. They had practices deeply rooted in nature and cycles of the earth, and they laid foundational elements for various traditions that we associate with Christmas today. I almost said Christmas again.
It's Christmas
Christmas.
time in the city.
Christmas.
My favorite holiday, Christmas.
Oh, God. I'm a struggle today. All right, there we go. So they celebrated winter solstice. It was the shortest day of the year, typically falling around December 21st, 22nd. They called it Alban Arthen, and it was the Druidic tradition. So it marked the rebirth of the sun, promising longer days and the return of warmth and light after the darkest period of the year. The notion of the light's triumph over darkness has echoes in Christmas celebration, where light in the form of candles and decorative lights plays a crucial role. The Druids built monuments, and there's a theory that Stonehenge was built by Druids to celebrate the winter solstice.
We've been there.
Yep. But the monuments are just like a small part of how Druids celebrated winter solstice. I have some pictures with my stuff, so I'm going to show you guys periodically. This one is kind of just a picture of a monument, and they have some Druids celebrating there. So some of the things specifically that we have with Christmas that came from Druids is the sacredness of evergreens. So plants like mistletoe, holly, and ivy were particularly revered. Mistletoe was believed to possess healing powers and the ability to ward off evil, and they gathered it ceremonially. And this possibly laid the groundwork for its associated with peace, love, and Christmas kissing traditions.
Fun thing about mistletoe. There was a Marvel character called Mistletoe once who shot missiles out of his toes. Just FYI.
I had one in my stuff about the mistletoe. It says, when two enemies meet under a sprig of mistletoe, this is according to the Druids, they were required to drop their weapons and form a truce until the next day.
Oh, that's fun.
Smash!
Well, they did that too, but
I thought you said smash.
No. I mean,
I would think that would not be enemies.
Maybe. Big circle around. I'm chanting, smooch.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Doubt that happened.
Date of my history.
I'm sure. The alternate
God.
aerial history of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Another big part of Christmas traditions, especially with the Druids, they did the Yule log, and it has its roots in Druidic tradition. So they originally burned a large log or an entire tree during the winter solstice, and that was because they kind of believed that the sun stood still for 12 days. And so this was kind of them keeping the light while the sun was not coming up, and to fend off the darkness a little bit extra more. So, extra more. I don't know.
At least the words I can't say aren't in English.
I mean, I haven't taken my medicine today, so hey, we're just winging it, Yeah. Okay, so the Yule log is symbolic of the sun's rebirth, we've already said, and it was believed to bring good fortune and protection against evil spirits. Today, the Yule log remains a symbol of warmth and light, often represented in a more symbolic form, such as cake shaped like a log.
Which is delicious.
It can also kind of look like poop if you're not a decorator. I wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, it would
there
probably.
is that. I can't remember which country it is where the log poops out presents.
It's called the shit log. Yeah,
yeah,
that's what it's called. And I think it is.
I mean, they feed it the whole time,
Yeah.
and then it poops out presents.
That's fantastic.
Amazing.
It's Tio de Nadal, and it is from. Oh my God, what is it? Mallorca? Yeah, Catalonia, Mallorca.
Oh, that's fun. So Druids passed this tradition onto the Vikings and Germanic populations,
Germanic.
influencing other situations. Yeah,
right.
Germanic. So influencing other civilizations. So Yuletide is pretty closely linked with Druid folklore, but it also ties into those. I'm out. Many of these Druidic practices were absorbed, adapted, and given new Christian meanings. The winter solstice celebrations, for instance, were repurposed to align with Christmas, celebrating the birth of Jesus, and the merging of traditions was a strategic move by the early Christian church to make the new faith more palatable to the pagan populace.
She was losing.
I know. You're welcome, everybody.
Usually it's us.
It's very rare that we bust our laugh like this. I feel special. Okay, so we talked a little bit about mistletoe already. So evergreens in the Christian symbolism were kind of reinterpreted to Christian context. So holly came to represent the crown of thorns that Jesus wore, and the red berries were symbolizing his blood. And that reinterpretation allowed the continuation of ancient customs while embedding them with new Christian significance. And so it goes on to say, today, Christmas celebrations are a mosaic of all sorts of diverse cultures. So it really is just like a melting pot.
You know what's weird about that? Sort of the thorn crowns and the red being the blood for the holly. In a lot of Christian or Catholic sorts of traditions, they drink the blood of Christ as part of the ceremony. You know, you got the whole transubstantiation thing. And you're supposed to drink it, but if you eat holly berries, you're gonna die.
It's poison.
Because they're poisonous. It's just kind of weird that they chose that. I'm just saying. I feel like
It
they
was
weren't
to
being
keep people coming back.
consistent.
I mean, it was like they tried to take what.
No, I
was
get it.
their
I'm just saying,
original-
like that's sort of a silly
They probably
one.
didn't know it.
Yeah. So I'm also going to go into the actual Celtic legend and lore, the Oak King and the Holly King. So the Golden Oak King and the Darksome Holly King are two twin gods seen as one complete entity. The Oak King, the light twin, rules the light half of the year from midsummer to midwinter. And then the Holly King, the dark twin, rules the dark half of the year from midwinter to midsummer. And so essentially, they fight each other to the death for the favor of a goddess, and her name is Erinrod. I'm going to pretend we say that right. Yeah.
Who knows?
They fight each other to the death, like I said. And so when one dies, he's not really dead. He just kind of goes away to lick his wounds for 6 months and then try again. And they withdraw to her castle, the ever-turning silver wheel, which is and that's located in the Aurora Borealis.
Oh, in the Aurora Borealis.
Yes. Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yes. And so she rules as the goddess of reincarnation, which is why they go there. So they die and then they're reincarnated and then they get to try again. So
Okay, so
that's pretty
these
cool.
two dudes, they fight over some chick. She resurrects them every year, though, because, you know.
Yep.
Because she can't decide.
Because
Yep.
she can't
She's
decide.
like,
This
"Let's
is
see."
the perpetual love triangle. This would do great on a...
Or for her, it's the best of both worlds.
Yep.
It's the best.
I
What is
was
it?
about.
Both worlds.
just like a movie. This would be a great movie. Or like a Twilight book, you know? That would be
No.
fun. That was a fake love
See
triangle
that.
anyway.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Freaking
so I
Team
have
Jacob
pictures of
mofos.
these people. All right, so sorry. So they had these things that you can get from this website that wrote about the lore. And so this is a statue of Erinrod, and you can see the two, oh God, here we go. You can see them fighting for her favor over the wheel. And
I was going to say,
pretty
I
fun.
want to see.
Yeah. And then we've got, let me see. Oh, the Wheel of the Year plaque, which is also something that we do in Celtic traditions. And then we've got, I don't know that guy. The Oak King. This is a print that you can buy. Pretty cool. And then this is the Holly King. And you can see he's kind of scary looking,
I
but
wanna
I really like it.
I want to see which one's cuter. I know they're twins, but that doesn't mean anything.
Okay, Holly King versus
Yeah,
Oak
definitely
King.
Holly. Definitely Holly.
Yeah.
You think
I
so?
was really thinking so too.
Yeah.
We love us a dark man.
Yes. We want a man who's committed a
Okay,
crime
see,
to
I
go
think
to
I'm
jail for
looking at a
life.
different picture because
Probably, because mine is, I mean, it's really cool looking, but it's, it kind of reminds me of like a tarot card almost, like
Yeah.
the art
Oh.
style.
is this the one where they're split down the middle?
No.
No.
I could see you going for the dark
I
one
don't
there.
think I have ever seen them look like
It looks dope.
before.
Yeah.
I've never
He's
seen him
green,
look
though.
like that.
Yeah, I thought that the art was really cool. And it just came with like whoever wrote this, like you can buy these things. So, you know, they were promoting themselves. Good for them,
It- you know.
honestly.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about druids and all this. Okay, so we're gonna like kind of work our way up to Celtic and like more New Age. So what happens now? One of the most prominent ancient sites associated with the solstice is Newgrange, and that's a prehistoric monument in County Meath in Ireland. So it was built over 5,000 years ago, and Newgrange's passage tomb is aligned with the rising sun on the winter solstice. As dawn breaks on this day, a narrow beam of sunlight enters the chamber, illuminating it in a breathtaking spectacle, demonstrating the Celts' astronomical knowledge for reverence for the sun at this time. I'm going to show you a picture. This is Newgrange itself, and then this is a picture of the inside, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the outside
bigger-
doesn't look super exciting, but the inside's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. So today, the winter solstice continues to be celebrated, obviously, but they have many communities gathered together to witness the sunrise at Newgrange. And they have a lottery system that determines what lucky participants get to enter the chamber and experience the ethereal sunlight phenomenon. I think that would be the coolest thing ever. Like, that gave me goosies just thinking about it. Like, what would it, how would it feel if you were in there whenever that happened?
Actually, they have when you go visit it, they simulate it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Huh. I really want to go to Ireland.
Yeah.
Let me add one little thing about the mistletoe again and the Saturnalia, because mistletoe is also sacred to Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
But the Romans, of course, were a little more festive. Let's put it that way. It's like they had fertility rituals under the mistletoe. So,
boy.
Kissing is a step down from what
This
they
is
did.
where we say smash instead of smooch.
Wow.
I just thought that was interesting. Yeah, I tell you,
They had fun.
they did.
They knew how to party.
And so there are just like the last I'm going to close with is just a couple of things that you can do if you wanted to celebrate the winter solstice, sort of like they did. So you can prepare a feast. You can dine in candlelight. You can also make a wreath. And they said like one of the best parts of making a wreath for winter solstice is just being outside and gathering and making that connection with nature. You can use berries for protection to symbolize all of the things that you want, really. I mean, and it also, red holly berries specifically were used to protect and drive away unwanted spirits. And then they also represent femininity, blood, and fertility. And then you can add other objects to evoke the energies that you want. So, like, there's no real rules to it, but, you know, I mean. And then there was a picture here of the Celtic wheel calendar, which I showed you that statue earlier, but that's it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
This is the reason we say happy holidays
Mhm.
instead of just
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, because
Yep.
there's so many holidays.
All in this general region because, you know, the solstice, it happens to be kind of a big deal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go figure.
Especially if you're in the northern part.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, actually, no, this is a question. So, the southern hemisphere, do they have similar sorts of things for, I guess, their
I don't
winter
know.
solstice, which would be our summer solstice? I don't think that. See, I think the issue is it doesn't really get that cold in most of the global south. You know, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Australia, like even southern Africa, it doesn't really get that cold. So maybe it's not quite as much of a big deal. But, should have looked that up.
I know nothing about South America, what they do.
Yeah, if we had really planned this, we probably could have done quadrants
Yeah.
of the world.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
to
I
see,
tried.
like, I don't know. I know.
I had Asia.
But yeah, that would be interesting to look into. We probably, yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting.
So,
We're very, very global
you
north
seen-
biased here.
have you seen the
unfortunately.
thing where they like were trying to decide how to say like Merry Yule or Happy Yule or whatever it is, and somebody decided on bitch Yule,
Yes.
and I was like, that's the only way I'm gonna
Yes.
say it now.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Fantastic.
It sounds more appropriate.
It
It
sounds
really does.
great. Like
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, bitch Yule.
Yule, y'all. Yule.
Okay, you guys are bleeping
I
all
love
these,
that.
not me.
Yep. It's another bleep episode.
We can't bleep them all, or they won't have any idea what we're talking about.
we gotta
We
leave.
just like leave like the B and the N, like bleep out the middle. Ha.
female dog Yule.
Yeehaw. Okay, did you want to round out your?
I was reading the other two. There's not much to Singapore and South Korea. Singapore, they kind of have this thing called the Orchard Road Boulevard. It's apparently famous. I've never heard of it, but that doesn't mean anything.
It can't be famous. I've never heard of it.
I don't know a lot of things. But they turn it into a long avenue of bright Christmas lights, which I thought was kind of cool that they do that.
Yeah.
But they don't really have any special things really, but they do Christmas themed afternoon teas, and unlimited canapes.
She said doo-doo.
I was going to make that joke.
She beat you.
Wow.
And then the other one is South Korea. And now this is what I thought was weird. It says Christmas is a national holiday in South Korea because of the country's substantial Christian community, which accounts for 29% of the population. That's it.
I mean, it's a
That's
decent
not
chunk.
substantial. That's barely a fourth.
But maybe the other religions, there's a vast array of other religions.
Yeah.
I don't know, but maybe
I don't
maybe
know.
they just make up a
but
huge chunk.
Maybe
of
that's
all
the
other
biggest
ones.
amount that they have.
I think
theirs is a couple's
remember.
holiday instead of a family festival.
Yeah.
And it says it's an excuse to stay home with your partner or loved one. So
I don't need an excuse
That's
for
not
that. I just stay home anyway.
Yeah.
they don't have any unique specialties or foods. They do Korean barbecue though.
I'm in.
There's that. But that's about it. And their Santa is known as Grandpa Santa.
I love that.
Grandpa
And
Santa.
he distributes gifts and whatnot, but he's seen in blue or green robes as opposed to red.
Green.
So
That sounds
that's about
fun.
it.
I
Yeah,
love
we
that.
don't. Wish
That
we
is
had
fun.
more different
so
colored
I didn't
Santas.
realize that Asian cultures had so much similar things to us.
Yeah.
Most of it's just basically what we do with slight variations.
Yeah.
There's definitely themes that run through all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. It was kind of cool.
It is really fun learning about all the different ways people celebrate Christmas
Mhm.
and or winter holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, winter holidays. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Solstice-related holidays, winter holidays.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Very
that's
nice.
it. We're done.
Do we have any final thoughts before I lead us out?
Do not hunt up that cake recipe. Don't do
Apparently,
it.
the pineapple tart, though, is okay.
I do want the pineapple tart.
Yeah,
I
go for
do
that
want
one. Go for the pineapple tart.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next couple of episodes, we are going to have a New Year's book wrap up. So we're going to talk about our 4 best reads for the year, each of us. And then we're also going to talk about our 4 least favorite. So be ready for some rants, y'all. All right? Okay. And then you're probably going to hear me and Ariel gush a lot about one specific series. Not sorry.
It's so good.
And then we're also going to do a look ahead of some books that we're excited about for 2025. So that's also pretty exciting. Some of the books that I've started this year specifically were for books for 2025. So the list will be good. We will then do parts 1 and 2 of our group deep dive to start out the new year. So we're doing The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. And I think it's been, I don't know, one of the last times Susie was on.
She asked to come back for this one.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So she talked about this book, and we all have wanted to read it since, and so that's what we're doing. So get ready for that. I think that's actually the first 2 episodes of the year, I think.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
right, yeah.
All right. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. It's time for us to sign off, but before we go, only the best libraries have librarians who don't shush you.
Happy holidays.
Bitch.
Aw, beans.